There are no roadblocks scheduled today on either Highway 70 or 54 South. For the latest roadblock information, call 575-678-1178. Tonight's forecast is calling for mostly cloudy skies with a 60% chance of rain in Alamogordo. Expect an overnight low of 66, Cloudcroft a low of 50. Tomorrow we're looking at mostly cloudy skies with a 70% chance of rain, some heavy possible in Alamogordo tomorrow. High of 81, low of 64. For Cloudcroft tomorrow, high of 66, overnight low near 49 degrees.
This is the Roundup on ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. Going from the Tularosa Basin and beyond, this is your local connection to the world of sports. From high school to college and to the pros, we cover the latest news and the biggest stories. Don't forget, this is your show. Change the topic anytime. Call us at 437-1230. The Roundup starts right now. ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. Hello and welcome into the show as we get things going. And, well, we just got a couple days left in the week. Tomorrow we're going to talk with Alamogordo Public Schools Athletic Director, Jarrett Perry. And we'll be chatting about a number of things, I'm sure. So we'll have that coming up on the show for you guys tomorrow. And hope you guys will be able to tune in for that. Today, though, an interview that we had a little bit earlier on this week. And got a chance to talk with Alamogordo Tiger basketball. We hadn't had Coach James Voight into the studio yet. And, again, I'll apologize. That's my fault for not getting him in sooner. All on me, but certainly glad to meet him and have a chance to chat with him a little bit about his past and what made him choose Alamogordo for his next coaching stop. And we also had assistant head coach, JV head coach Federico Rodriguez was here, and three Tiger players, Jeremiah Vigil, Harlon Gilbert, which is spelled L-O-N, not L-E-N. I'm telling you, I saw his first name spelled so many different ways last year. At one point I just kind of gave up. I should have just asked him in person when I saw him last year, but go me on that one. And Grayson Koehler also stopped by. It was a lot of fun. And, again, we're getting ready for the start of the fall sports season, but Alamogordo boys basketball has an end-of-summer basketball event coming up this weekend. Starts on Saturday, finishes up on Sunday. And the photo that we have up on our Facebook page right next to it is all the information that you need for it. I'll go through it again during the interview from this past week. So that's all coming up for you right now here on ESPN Alamogordo. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Alamogordo boys basketball. Well, I need to get where I need to get to. Sometimes I'm well prepared and sometimes I'm not. But, of course, we'll be talking about their season starting coming up in November. But certainly with their event coming up this weekend, wanted to get a chance to talk with Coach Voight and the rest of the crew. So here it is. Well, joining us now is Alamogordo boys basketball. They are kind of wrapping up some summer stuff, but they're wrapping it up in style. They've got a big event coming up this weekend. And for the first time, we welcome in Coach James Voight, who's taken over the program this year. Coach, how are you?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Well, happy to have you here. And if you want to introduce the guys that you brought with you today, who's the crew that you have with you this afternoon?
Okay, we brought three guys in. Grayson, Jeremiah, and Harlon are here with us in studio today to talk a little bit with you about our summer so far.
All right, sounds good. Guys, how are you today? Good?
Yeah, pretty good, yeah.
All right, that's what I like to hear. Are you kind of excited school's getting ready to start, or not quite sure? Harlon, how about you?
I am not.
Not? not ready to get up early in the morning for all that stuff, right?
I guess. I mean, I guess the basketball part's more exciting.
Yeah, I got you. Jeremiah, how about you, buddy? I mean, just ready to get back into the swing of things, or?
No, not really. Summer's been good.
Okay.
Playing a lot of basketball, and then, yeah, school is just school, so not really.
Gotcha. Grayson, how about you, man? Been busy with basketball, tennis? What have you been doing this summer?
Actually, both.
Yeah.
A little bit of tennis, more so basketball.
Okay.
I think I could take an extra month off of school and not be too worried.
I feel like that would be a normal thing that most kids would say.
Coach, I do want to start with you because obviously you're taking over the program. Have been in Gallup the last couple of years, won a state championship in Dexter. What was it about Alamogordo? You saw the job become available that interested you to come this way.
Well, it was big reason was location, coming back down south. I got married this summer. My fiance was in Roswell. Yeah, so it's been tough up in Gallup. It's been good, but it was tough, and we were looking for a good place that we could settle, and a school that had potential, town that had potential, and it was here in Alamogordo.
All right, sounds good. Last couple years in Gallup, I mean, you talk about a city and a program that is crazy about their high school basketball. I mean, that's, I know Alamogordo has been that way over the years, but Gallup's kind of a different intensity in some ways, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but it's a fun environment to be in. Every night you're at home or on the road, you're going to be in a packed gym. So I know that's what we want to bring here to Alamo and get it back to how it was, and that's our goal.
All right, and of course, I mentioned previously before that you won the state championship in Dexter. Talk about that experience. 29-2 season. You guys had a really special year that year, didn't you? Yeah,
it was real special. Anytime you can win state, it's an unbelievable feeling. And had a lot of seniors that year. The year before, in 2013, we were runners-up. So that was our goal, to get back and to actually win it. And we did that, and it was a special group, real close group. We're still close to this day. Still get texts from the kids, coaching staff, and whatnot, but a special year for us there.
Yeah, and you also, you have a connection to the local area, Tularosa, and this area as well with your family too, right?
Yeah, my dad was in Tularosa in 2013, so we're pretty familiar with this area, know it pretty good, and just happy to be here.
When you win a state championship with the previous team, obviously going forward, you're a state championship winning coach. Is that something you're able to convey to the future teams, like in Gallup, where you talk to these guys? Is that an experience that you're able to help kind of lay upon them in any way?
Yes, and that's a big thing, because you win one, you always want to win it, and I know it's hard sometimes for people that haven't won it to know what that feels like, but I try with each team I'm with to get that across to them, because once they have that feeling, they're never going to want anything else. So that's what we're trying to build up for, is to compete for state championships, win a state championship, and then our program will just take off from there.
All right, Grayson. Talk about and you've had a chance to work with them the entire summer, right? You came in back in May and been able to work with them.
Yes, I've been in since about the middle of May, and we've been working, and we were busy all June, and we've been doing stuff in July, and we're still doing stuff. So yeah. I've gotten familiar with some of them. So
yeah, absolutely. Grayson, in terms of getting to know Coach and his style and everything, have you gotten acclimated to that yet? What's been the experience for you in working with Coach Voight so far?
He's all right, I guess. No, but I think he's done a great job just kind of getting everyone used to his kind of style. Like with we had different drills last year than we have this year, and it's just been. It's kind of hard to get used to, considering we had shock for 2 years, and that's when I was young, and that's when I was getting used to high school basketball. But now that Voight's here, it's just kind of like a step up, I guess, like a little more difficult.
Okay.
It's harder to get used to.
Jeremiah, in terms of, what would be the main differences you've seen, and how you've acclimated in working with Coach Voight so far?
It's been really good. I like the ball handling skill work we do. Just helps me as a guard. And yeah, it's been fun. Been great summer camps we've been going to. Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
All right, Harlon, how about you? How's the summer been working with Coach Voight so far?
It's pretty good. It's been a great experience. He's been helping us with everything. I really like his philosophy when it comes to basketball, and being able, him giving me tips and advice on becoming better as a player really helps us, and it kind of puts our team together. When we come against a lot of better opponents, things like that. So.
Yeah, and that's Coach, that's something this year. Obviously Alamogordo moves back to playing the big schools again, playing the Cruces schools. Out most of the Albuquerque metro area, Rio Rancho. It's a transition for the program and for everybody this year, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But I think it's a good transition. I think you should always want to play against tougher competition, because that's going to help you during state time when it matters most. So I'm happy for it.
Yeah, I think we're all excited to see that. I'm happy to get back into that Cruces district. That's always a lot of fun. I'm sure you guys are happy. Travel-wise, you're probably happy to get back into that Cruces district,
Yes,
aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a fun thing. Coach, what have you seen from them this summer? I mean, you feel like the participation level's been good and the interest level's been good so far?
I feel like it's been all right. And that's the difference when you have transition, and it'll get better for sure. But right now it's been okay, and I know we're young. We're a little bit younger this year, but that's also a good sign too, because you get to work with these kids for multiple years instead of just 1 year, and them getting used to a new system and new philosophies and everything like that. So it'll pay dividends and be beneficial for us in the long run.
How about the team camps that you guys went to this year? Where do you feel like you maybe got the boys had the best experience, and maybe you saw the best of them this season?
I would say probably Las Cruces was probably the best competition-wise that we played. But we also went to Roswell. We went to Las Cruces. We were in some summer league, night league stuff around here. We went to Cloudcroft for a day. So we ended up close to 30 games this summer. But Las Cruces was probably the best competition.
Yeah, and did you guys go to Albuquerque this summer, or was that I must have had that confused with something else? Did you guys do a La Cueva camp, or?
No, we were going to, but we had to cancel. But that'll be in the future plans. The more as we go along.
Yeah, I want to have the opportunity, I'm sure, to play the Albuquerque schools and things like that.
Yes, sir.
We do have Coach Rodriguez here, who coached the JV team last year. I'm going to bring him in just because you talk about the team being young. You've got a lot of the JV guys that are going to be, I'm sure, moving up and playing more varsity time this year. From what you saw from that group that last year, do you think a lot of them are ready to make that jump when we hit November and get out there on the floor?
Oh yeah, definitely. The transition is the big thing, and I think with Coach Voight keeping the coaching staff the same, it helps out the players that we've had in the small couple of years that we've had them. They're just ready. They're getting ready. They're getting hungry. We're trying to kind of feed them a little bit of what to expect during this year, and they saw that. All of them did, from freshmen all the way to the seniors. They got a little taste of that varsity experience. Some of the 8th graders moving up got that JV experience. It was just a good little summer that we had, definitely.
Yeah. Grayson, I mean, how important for you? I mean, when you've done summers, obviously the last couple of summers, how important has that been when you get around to November and December and get into the season to help you be ready for the start of the basketball season?
It's kind of weird to think about because it's the same level of competition, but it's different in a way. It's kind of like putting training wheels on, I guess. Like you're getting used to the competition and seeing what the other teams have in store for when season comes around and they have their full rosters and everything, all their plays and stuff, because in the summer you're only running 2 or 3 plays maybe. Yeah. But then when you get to November, you'll have 10 or 15. It's just it's hard to get used to, kind of. It's weird.
Yeah. Jerome, I mean, do you feel like the summer stuff helps you out when you get to the start of the season? I mean, I know you're playing maybe different competition, but skills-wise yourself, I mean, do you feel a little bit more prepared when you've done the summer activities?
Definitely. Had some good experience against some smaller schools, but got to play varsity, and it was just a good experience, against older guys. And even playing JV against other schools, and we only had 4 or 5 players at the time, some games, and they had a whole 15. It just showed how much heart we have, and we're ready to go in the season, hungry.
All right, sounds good. Harlon, you got to play a lot of time as a freshman last year, and of course, you kind of mixed time a little bit between JV and varsity. What do you feel like you learned from last season? Getting to play as much varsity as did heading into this next season. What's the biggest thing you felt like you learned?
It's kind of a hard one. I have to say, just playing hard, just getting used to playing bigger players, I mean, as a young player, you're getting introduced to a lot more, I can say, grown men. So, I mean, as you play on the years, it just makes you better, stronger, getting ready for the season, I guess.
Yeah. Get in the weight room, things like that. I'm sure, Coach, is that one of the things you really, stress on these guys? I mean, the skills on the court, obviously, but conditioning a big thing for you?
Yeah, and we implemented that some this summer. Started getting them in the weight room, lifting 2 to 3 times a week, and then doing plyos and agilities 2 times a week. So that's something that was fairly new to them that we implemented so far this summer, and we'll continue it once school starts.
All right. one of the reasons wanted to make sure you got you guys in here is coming up starting on Friday, running all the way through Sunday. Y'all are going to have an end of summer basketball tournament. Tell me a little bit about that and how folks can get involved with that.
Okay, so actually it's going to be Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday,
yes.
Sorry.
And we're running an end-of-summer basketball tournament as a fundraiser for our boys basketball team, but also just to get the community involved. No matter what age, we have divisions for. Teams can sign up and have 2 fun days of basketball where you can play, and we've got prizes and stuff for each division, and should just be a fun couple of days of basketball.
An opportunity to get out of the heat and not have to go and play on the street courts, things like that, right?
Yeah, it's inside the gym. There's air conditioning there, so not going to be outside for sure.
All right. You guys going to be playing coming up this weekend?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. All on the same team? You guys going to be on different teams? Or
No, we're together.
You're together? Okay, I wasn't sure. Maybe there's a little in-team competition. You guys are going to go up against each other. Just wasn't sure what the plan was there for that. So the information, we'll have it up on our Facebook page of the cost and the contact info and all of that, so make sure folks can get that info. But I will go ahead and just mention some of the contact info. You can contact Coach Voight at 704-0312, or his email is j_Voight@hotmail.com. But you can also contact Coach Rodriguez, you can contact Coach Bowman, and their numbers are also on this flyer that's been shared in a couple of different places. So entry fees and all the different things that are on there, you can go check out. 8-player rosters, by the way, double elimination tournament. They're doing 16-minute halves, but just a fun thing, and again, just to get people excited about Tiger basketball. I feel like that's one of the big things that you guys want for this tournament, right, Coach?
Yes, exactly.
All right, so we'll look forward to that, and then of course the season coming up a little bit down the road. Obviously, we got fall sports. Any of you guys involved in any fall sports, or just when winter comes around? No? Okay, just wasn't sure. I know, Grayson, you do tennis. Do you guys do any spring sports, or planning on
baseball.
it? Baseball? Okay, so we've got a couple of double sport athletes in here. Harlon, are you? No, you do track and field, right?
Used to, and I'm not going to do this year.
Okay, all right. I wasn't sure. I remember I saw you up there, and just wanted to make sure we're going to see these guys out there. But we know we're going to see them out there for Tiger basketball coming up when November rolls around. But they're going to be continuing conditioning, and they'll have class with Coach Voight and all that stuff. But Coach, we're excited to have you in the community. We're looking forward to what Tiger basketball is going to look under you, and we'll see what the season looks like. We appreciate you coming in.
Thank you. Thanks for having us,
guys. Appreciate you coming in, and we'll look forward to talking to you once the season gets a little bit closer. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. All right. Thanks again to Coach Voight for stopping in, as well as Grayson, Jeremiah, Harlon, and Coach Rodriguez. And again, go support Tiger basketball this weekend. You got some friends that want to go play some hoops. Get them involved. Got some kiddos that want to go play. Seems like a fun thing to do to finish off the summer. One last little hurrah before school starts on Monday. So make sure you check that out. And again, you can get in contact with Coach Voight. Let me see. I think I have the flyer. Oh, no, I think I deleted it. Wait a minute. That's what the recently deleted file is for on the old phone. Yeah, there it is. No, that's not it. I'm batting 1,000 today. The Alamogordo Tiger basketball end of summer basketball camp. It runs the 11th and the 12th. There's a men's division, there's a women's division, high school boys 14 to 18, high school girls 14 to 18, middle school boys and girls as well. And there's going to be prizes, a ton of them in there. 8-player roster, double elimination tournament. Call Coach Voight up at 704-0312. That's 575 area code. You can also email him at j_Voight. That's VOIGHT. Think John Voight. Yeah, the actor. Spelled the same. And that's at hotmail.com. You can also contact Coach Bowman. You can contact Coach Rodriguez. All of this is up on our Facebook page. Find the post where we have the picture with the guys when they came in on Tuesday. And all that information is right there next to it. So looking forward to seeing what Coach Voight brings to the table for Tiger basketball come wintertime. But obviously we're focusing in on football, soccer, cross country, volleyball, all that good stuff. We're going to have soccer in next week, already kind of finalizing plans. I think we'll probably have girls soccer, the interview air next Friday. We'll probably have boys soccer next Thursday. That seems to be what it's looking like right now, but obviously it's a little fluid, and volleyball and cross country, that'll be coming up as well, and I'm sure we'll have some other things for you guys. Also shared up on our Facebook page a flyer for Junior Tiger Cheer Camp, which is coming up towards the end of the month. I think it's the 25th, but again, make sure you like our Facebook page, facebook.com/ESPN Alamogordo, and you can get all the info for that. There's a lot of stuff coming up. Tomorrow night, I know Tiger Band is doing a concert over at Washington Park. Tiger football has their black and gold scrimmage tomorrow night, so they'll do that, I think, in their second practice of the day. It's the first day with pads on. So that'll be coming up on Friday. And I feel like there's something else Tiger sports related this weekend, but I'm not placing it at the moment. I don't think so. I know soccer is going to be scrimmaging, I believe, next weekend. Alamogordo football does their scrimmage next Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock, and then they're going to have a Meet Tiger football and cheerleading and a lot of other folks there events. So that'll be over at Tiger Stadium. And, of course, practice tryouts begin next week. And I saw on both the volleyball and the soccer pages, if you've got a kiddo that's going to be involved, or maybe you are related to somebody that has a Tiger in the family and they're going to go and try out coming up next week, make sure they have their physical done. Just send a text and be like, hey, did we take care of your sports physical? Did your son or daughter take care of your sports physical? I mean, just pass along information. Ask them if they got that taken care of. Because I know boys soccer, I think it's only a one-day tryout, because they're doing their scrimmages, I think, next Tuesday, actually. That's why it's a one-day tryout. And I'm going to tell you right now, for the tryout sports and the cut sports, not having your physical done for the first day, probably not going to be a good sign. Not having your stuff together and ready to go. Now, I'm sure if there's extenuating circumstances and you contact the coach beforehand, that's probably a good step to get done. But yeah, just showing up and not having the physical done, that's probably not going to fly particularly well. So just a heads up with those Monday tryouts coming up. And, of course, school starts Monday. Same goes for freshman football as well, middle school, sports, all that stuff. Make sure you got those sports physicals done. They cannot do anything without those. So I think all the coaches and everybody are trying to make sure that that's ingrained in everybody's head. And if you've got an athlete and you've had that athlete competing for years and years, I'm sure it's already done and taken care of. But maybe if you have somebody that's just starting to get into or get back into a sport or something, got to get that stuff taken care of, or you are unable to compete. Can't even practice. So, all right. Anything else we want to mention locally as the moment? I think we're good. Tomorrow, again, we'll talk to Alamogordo Public Schools Athletic Director Jarrett Perry. Got a lot of, I think, interesting things to chat about. New classification for and districts this year for all of Alamogordo sports. Majority of Alamogordo sports. There's a couple of them that I think are basically in the same district they were last year. I think swim is the one that may be the only one, actually. So we'll talk about that. An update on Reiner Steinhoff Soccerplex. When I drive by there, I see green on the field, but it's kind of a bad angle, so I don't know what exactly is going on over there, but I'm crossing my fingers that they're going to be able to get that field up to the condition that they want it to with games starting here in less than 2 weeks. So we'll chat with him about that and some other things. But that'll be on tomorrow's show, and it'll be about halfway through. I think he's going to come in around 2:30. So we'll obviously shoot the breeze with some other stuff in the first half of the hour, and then we'll talk with Mr. Perry a good portion of the second half of the hour. All right, so hey, you're listening live on YouTube. If you're with us on there, I think I saw a couple people on there. Excited about that. But if you're listening to us on 103.7, thanks for tuning in. And if you missed any of that interview, we'll be posting the full show up on the Facebook page as soon as we wrap up, and I'll make sure I post a link to it. All right? All right, we'll take a break, come back. More of the roundup for you right after this.
If you and your family are looking for a new home, you don't have to look far for a home mortgage. As a community bank, we not only have great rates, we offer you friendly financial service right here in the neighborhood. There are a lot of options in real estate lending. We're here to see that you get a loan you can live with. Talk to us about your home mortgage. We're an equal housing lender. First National Bank, member FDIC. When you grow, we grow.
If your tires hold more excuses than air, that's a big oh no. If bad alignment has your car swerving to the left like the world's slowest U-turn, that's also a big oh no. If you get a flat at night in any town ending in Vania, that's a very big oh no. And how most scary movies start. Maybe stay in your car. Thankfully, for all your car's big oh no's, there's always a big oh yes. Now through August 25th, save $100 instantly on sets of 4 Big O brand tires with paid installation. Plus, get up to a $50 mail-in rebate on purchases of $500 or more when using your Big O credit card. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Valid at participating locations on in-stock sets of 4 Big O brand tires. Up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted retail price not to exceed $35. Disposal fees extra where permitted. Not valid with other offers. See store for pricing. Mail-in rebate subject to credit approval. Not valid with other credit rebate offers. See rebate form for terms and conditions.
Since 2013, New Mexico has been fighting the spread of invasive feral swine. These invaders rip up habitats, destroy property, spread disease, and compete with native wildlife. Help us close the gate and eliminate feral swine. Please report any sightings of feral swine and their damage to USDA Wildlife Services at 575-623-3310.
This is Brandon with Desert Sun. I'm not sure if you all know this, but Desert Sun Auto Group consists of 5 dealerships across the great state of New Mexico. This means we have 5 new car departments with over 500 vehicles to choose from and over 200 quality pre-owned vehicles. Majority of these vehicles, when bought from us, are backed with Desert Sun's lifetime powertrain protection. Stop by either Desert Sun Motors or Desert Sun Toyota today and let us help you find your new ride. See our full inventory at DesertSunMotors.com.
Tularosa Basin Telephone Company is famous for keeping you connected. They promise to deliver fast speeds, provide a reliable network, and do it all with a smile. Their customer service team is on top of every call with the answers you need. In fact, they believe their customers are the most important part of their business. Give Tularosa Basin Telephone Company a call at 585-2700 for the internet experience you've been waiting for.
My therapist had told me that I needed to go to AA meetings, but I wasn't sure whether I wanted to go because I didn't want to be an alcoholic. That was not what I wanted to grow up and be. I didn't want to go to AA, but I did, and it wasn't what I expected by any means. It was friendly. I could feel it. I mean, I could feel the happiness. It's really great. Alcoholics Anonymous. It works. Look us up.
For the local AA hotline, call 430-9502. That's 430-9502.
Every student wants their high school sports apparel, and there's only one place to get it, the Winner's Circle. They carry all the local school letter jackets, whether you're a Tiger, Wildcat, or Bear. While you're there, get your jacket personalized with embroidery, stitching, and have your letters and patches sewn on too. They also carry trophies, plaques, and awards, and service with a smile. It's all at the Winner's Circle, 1201 10th Street in Alamogordo.
I'm Ed Horrell, author of The Kindness Revolution. Perhaps no one, other than their parents, has more influence over the development of our children than their teachers. Underpaid, overworked, too often underappreciated, these towers of influence are shaping the future of our families and our communities. Right now, thousands of teachers across the country are getting ready for the school year. They're investing their time and often their own money in preparation for the journey that lies ahead of them. That journey includes dealing with children and oftentimes impatient and unappreciative parents who too often don't realize the responsibilities and pressures that come with teaching. On its best day, teaching is a tough gig, and we need to remember that. So join us at the Kindness Revolution in saying, thank you, teachers. You're looking good. To learn more, check us out at thekindnessrevolution.net.
ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. Welcome back. If you want to call the show, 437-1230. Always happy to have you tuned into the show. And where do we want to go from here? How about PGA Championship? Final major of the year for golf underway. Ricky Fowler with a good first round, 5 under par. Has got a 2-shot lead. Tiger Woods, tell you what, for a guy that started 2 over or 3 over on the day to battle back to even par, pretty good. He's actually far back in the field in terms of place. He's tied for 44th, but he's only 5 shots off, and in all reality, he's 3 shots back. Fowler's a little bit ahead. We'll see how Ricky does this weekend. Maybe this is finally his weekend, but he has had really good Thursdays in major championships. Thursdays and Fridays. Saturday and Sunday have just killed him. I think, Saturday at the Open this year, he went out there and shot a terrible score. Was it the U.S. Open or the British Open? I can't remember. It was one of the last 2 majors. Maybe it's finally his time. I think it would be a very popular win if it happened. After that, boy, I got to feel like it's anybody's guess. And if Tiger can avoid getting in trouble like he did starting today, he seems to have the course down okay. Problem is, just got to avoid the problems he got into, and he played pretty decently after that terrible start. I think he knocked it in the water on his second hole, so we'll see what happens. I got to feel like he's pretty happy with the way that it ended up, and certainly the story so far. Got some good names, though, at 3 under par, and already in the clubhouse. Jason Day, Ian Poulter are 3 under. You've got Kyle Stanley, who's still on the course at 3 under. He's on the 10th at 2 under. Dustin Johnson, he's still out there. He's about halfway through his first round. Bubba Watson's at 2 under. Jim Furyk at 1 under par. He's finished up for the day. Keegan Bradley, who's won the PGA. Justin Thomas, who's the defending PGA champion, 1 under par. He actually played with Tiger today, as did Rory McIlroy. Rory shot even par. Justin Rose, a major winner, at 1 under. Matt Kuchar's at 1 under. So after the first day, nobody's really separated themselves at all. I think Phil went +3 today. Zach Johnson, a major winner. He's even par. Martin Keimer +1. He's a former PGA champion. So is Padraig Harrington at +1. So it's a good thing and a bad thing for anybody in that mix, because if you have a bad day tomorrow, you're probably going to miss the cut. It's so tight between, you figure you've got the guys that are at +2, which is, mind you, they're 7 shots off of Ricky, but they're only 5 shots off of second place, are tied for 94th. There's just not, you've had a few guys that have gone out there and had bad rounds, but otherwise not so much. So it's going to be an interesting Friday, I think, to see who actually makes the weekend. And if it stays that jam-packed, it could be very, very exciting. So I'm looking forward to. Can you tell I'm excited about it? Been really kind of into golf this year for some reason. I wonder why. Couldn't be that Tiger guy is playing. The ratings are great. Well, I don't think the ratings for today would have been particularly up, because TNT came on the air right as Tiger was playing his last shot. Now, tomorrow, and I got to think they probably planned it that way, is that, in prime time on Friday, Tiger Woods is going to be out on the golf course. So it's going to be good numbers for TNT, and if he sticks around for the weekend, it is in contention. CBS is going, yes, let it happen, please. NFL preseason essentially gets going tonight. We had the Hall of Fame game last Thursday, but almost everybody is playing tonight. I think only 4 games are not this evening. So you get Browns and Giants, which a lot of people are looking forward to seeing. Baker Mayfield on the Browns side, Saquon Barkley on the Giants side. It's on NFL Network, so something maybe to check out tonight. We'll have the Cowboys game here on ESPN Alamogordo. Who are they? They're playing the 49ers, right? Yeah, so we'll have that game for you. Yeah, there it is. Let me make sure it's on the log. Let's make sure we are actually playing that. So we'll have that game for you here on 103.7 coming up this evening. So make sure you check that out. And, of course, a reminder, we'll have all the Cowboys regular season games. This is the only preseason game we're covering or carrying. We had no D-backs baseball tonight, didn't have anything else tonight, so we figured we'd throw a preseason game in there and get the football season started off right. Gonna have a lot of college football for y'all. Of course, we'll have the Aggies, but a lot of other good stuff through ESPN, Compass Media Networks, all that fun stuff. So you'll have a lot of football to tune into here on ESPN Alamogordo throughout the next few months. And of course, we'll still have baseball. We'll have the World Series. We'll have a ton of other fun things as we head throughout the last 4 months of 2018. Now 5, I guess, but I'm excited. This is always my favorite time of the year. I'm a little busy. From my standpoint, it's sometimes a bit hectic, but I got to say it from a sports fan standpoint. I just love this time of year when football's getting going, baseball's coming right down to the end. If you're a big baseball or hockey fan, that's really right around the corner. I think the hockey season starts in a little more than 2 months. The NBA is about 3 months away. It's not that far off. Yeah, I know they just finished, but if you're missing the NBA, and I know there's a lot of people that are. I mean, I'm always excited to see when they announce the Christmas Day games. That was fun to see who was going to be playing those earlier this week, and we get the Lakers and the Warriors. That'll be fun. We get the Thunder and the Rockets. That'll be fun. And what are some of the other good ones? We've got Celtics, Sixers, which I think that's going to end up being a really good rivalry because you got a few players on the Sixers that are kind of chippy, they like to play the social media game. You got the same thing on the Celtics side. That could be a fun little rivalry the next few years, mainly because both teams are really young and very, very talented. And I'm just crossing my fingers that that's going to be good stuff. Not a guarantee, but maybe. Just maybe. What are the other ones? Knicks and Bucks, which is a weird one, but, it's New York. And the Jazz and the Blazers, I think, are the other Christmas Day games. So that's so far down the line, but that's kind of when people really start paying attention to the NBA. Christmas Day rolls around, and you kind of start. But, we got to see LeBron in his Lakers uniform for the first time. Pop that up on Instagram. That was cool. It feels like a little bit less of a big deal, at least to him leaving Cleveland this time. It's not. There certainly isn't, from what I've been paying attention to, any huge backlash from it. It's been about a month now since he made the choice to head out to Los Angeles, and I think probably a lot of it has to do with it. He didn't create a new super team. I mean, he's going to a team that is probably going to struggle a little bit to maybe make the playoffs. I mean, there's a good chance that it's not an easy road for them to get there, but I'm probably underestimating the difference that having LeBron, what that brings to the Lakers, who weren't terrible last year. They were getting better, but I'm sure it's going to be a little bit different, and he makes that team 20 wins better at minimum, and so that may put him up over 50 wins. That's just my feeling on it. The conference is obviously tougher. Oh, yeah, Carmelo signed with Houston officially. That's kind of a, do we care? I think there's probably a lot of Rockets fans that are sitting there going, do we want him on our team? Maybe Melo will come out and have a good season. I don't want to be that guy. Oh, we don't want him. Guy's, multiple-time All-Star, but just feels sometimes like the attitude probably not the best. Did have some day baseball already today. I know that because the Braves lost to the Nationals. Dang it. They split the series, so not too bad. Or did they? Doubleheader? Yeah, they must have split the series. Brewers lead the Padres 4-2, and the Indians beat the Twins 5-4. So, heading towards the weekend. No big changes in the standings. Red Sox 9-game lead on the Yankees. Indians 11-game lead on the Twins. Astros are up 5 on the A's, who are up 3 on the Mariners. And the AL wild card Yankees have a 4-game lead on the A's, and the A's have that 3-game lead on the Mariners. National League game lead for the Phillies over the Braves, and I think that'll stay that way. They don't play tonight. Nationals are 5.5 back. Cubs are a 1.5 up on the Brewers. Diamondbacks half game up on the Dodgers. That was a nice series win for them against the Phillies. Phillies are playing well. They took 2 out of 3. They won that 14-inning game and then beat them 6-0 yesterday. So D-backs have got some nice pieces there. If their pitching all comes together, and having Greinke and Corbin's pitching well, and I can't think of the other their other top guy. But they've got one of the best hitters in the National League when he's on, and Paul Goldschmidt and a few other guys you can throw that to. And just a friendly program reminder that you can listen to Arizona Diamondbacks baseball here on ESPN Alamogordo. Back with it tomorrow. What do we got for them tomorrow? They are facing off against the Reds. Where am I? Yes. Reds over the weekend, so we'll carry all three of those games Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we also have Sunday Night Baseball Nationals at the Cubs here on ESPN Alamogordo. And if you go a little bit further down on that ESPN Alamogordo schedule that's up on our Facebook page, facebook.com/ESPN Alamogordo, you can see about a month out what we're running. Hey, there's Tiger football. Hey, there's Aggies football for you as well. So we're getting to that part of the season. Exciting to see that on the schedule. So a lot of good stuff coming up for you here on ESPN Alamogordo. All right, we got any big headlines today? I honestly haven't looked a ton. I've been paying attention to the PGA Championship, and that's about it. Well, not much. Certainly isn't a big headline by any means. The Patriots added $5 million in incentives to Tom Brady's contracts. They're performance-based, as according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. He's already scheduled to make $15 million this season. The team is adding the incentives to bring him closer to the market. The adjustments are similar to what the Patriots did with Rob Gronkowski's deal. I wonder how that works in terms of the salary cap. You add the incentives, and if at the end of the season they reach all those incentives, does that equal into the salary cap? I don't know. The rules when it comes to salary cap stuff in the NFL and the NBA, I'm not totally sure, but I feel like Tom's a pretty good investment. What do you think? Good returns for the Patriots so far? I feel like not too bad there. Kind of a nice story from Justin Verlander. He was talking to Bleacher Report and really credited his wife Kate Upton with saving his career. Got to be a nice thing to hear. Whoever you are, if it's wife, it's friend, it's mother, father, whoever it is, said she was instrumental in me not like jumping off a bridge. I was depressed and kind of just upset at the world and trying to hide my own bleep. And back in 2014, Verlander thought his career was over. He was pitching for the Tigers. ERA was up, win totals were down. It looked like he was headed towards the end of the run, and he tells a pretty touching story about how she helped him through those kind of times, and that's again, those are nice stories to hear. As much as there's a lot of snark, there's a lot of cynicism in sports. You can't help it, but there's always, and I say always, a lot of really good stuff that can come out of sports. But I don't know, this is more of something obviously within his personal life, but I'm sure there's a lot of us that would look at somebody who was a major league pitcher and making millions of dollars and go, how is that person depressed? I think a lot of people would sit back and go, what do you have to complain about? It's unfortunately it doesn't work that way. I'm sure a lot of us would be like, give me a lot of money and let's see if it would make me happy or not. I always say that when there's a big lottery number and people are like, oh, money doesn't make you happy. I'd be like, I'd like to find out. Not that I'm not happy now. I think a good point to be made, if you're not happy before you make money, you may not be afterwards. Probably not going to completely cure what ails you in that way. However, if you're unhappy because you don't have money, that's I always felt like that was kind of a silly thing, that money won't necessarily make you happy. I'd like to try and find out. But the point is that what brings somebody joy or what brings somebody that kind of fulfillment in their life. I think for Justin Verlander was, being able to do his job well and be able to pitch well, and what he's been able to be successful at his entire career, and all of a sudden he couldn't do it. I think we can relate. I feel like that's something we can relate to. It's hard to relate to a lot of the problems of professional athletes. They are things that you and me will never go through. You know, getting arrested, late night at a club, or, blowing through millions of dollars and ending up bankrupt, or, it's just, I think a lot of times it's hard for us as people to make that connection, but I think things like this I think all of us can appreciate, even if it's not us personally that maybe has had problems like Justin Verlander describes, probably somebody you know. And maybe you're not even aware of it. Because I would have to wonder how many people in Justin Verlander's life really knew he was struggling that bad. And when he talks about going and jumping off a bridge, I think this is a nice development in sports, that athletes feel secure enough to be able to talk about those kind of things publicly. Because guaranteed, they are not the only athlete at whatever level, pros, college, high school, where I think for both men and women there is a you need to be tough kind of factor that plays into all that stuff, and sometimes it has nothing to do with just shoving it down and being able to deal with it. I don't think. So I always appreciate when athletes are willing to be that open and share those kind of things. I think it's important also that it comes off as genuine. I think for some people, sometimes it's harder to read that story because you feel like, should I believe this? Should I feel sympathy for this person? That's not fair, but I feel like it's the truth. But the way that story reads, it comes off very nice and genuine from my standpoint. Whether it is or not, I can't say, but I can say how I took it at least. Good stuff. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. If you want to call in, 437-1230. More of the roundup for you right after this.
There are no roadblocks scheduled today on either Highway 70 or 54 South. For the latest roadblock information, call 575-678-1178. Tonight's forecast is calling for mostly cloudy skies with a 60% chance of rain in Alamogordo. Expect an overnight low of 66, Cloudcroft a low of 50. Tomorrow we're looking at mostly cloudy skies with a 70% chance of rain, some heavy possible in Alamogordo tomorrow. High of 81, low of 64. For Cloudcroft tomorrow, high of 66, overnight low near 49 degrees.
Support for this program is provided by the Native American Rights Fund, reminding you that sovereignty is not free. Native American Rights Fund has been helping Indian tribes for over 40 years with critical issues such as treaty enforcement, hunting and fishing rights, Indian child welfare, religious freedom, and more. You too can become a modern-day warrior with your support for NARF's work. Learn more at narf.org and join the fight for Native rights.
Is your back-to-school list getting a little longer than you expected? OFCU's Visa Platinum Credit Card eases the unexpected. OFCU's Visa Platinum Credit Card gives you an interest-free grace period of at least 25 days on new retail purchases when the balance is paid in full each month. No fees for cash advances at OFCU's ATMs and branches. Back to school with OFCU is as easy as ABC. All loans subject to credit approval. Other restrictions may apply. Federally insured by NCUA. OFCU, 3 branches in Otero County. Call 434-8500.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Score big with great savings at Justin's Motor Company. Hustle on down to one of Justin's 2 locations. Cars, trucks, SUVs, Jeeps, you name it, Justin's has it. Makes and models to fit any budget and the best customer service in town. One-stop online shopping makes your next car buying experience a breeze. Check out the full inventory, meet the staff, even apply online. All at justinsmotorcompany.com. 2 locations conveniently located on the Holloman Highway or 489-5820, Justin's Motor Company.
What makes Vision Ford Lincoln Hyundai unique? At Vision Ford, we're all about you, your vision, your style, your needs, and your story. Vision is fully stocked with dozens of the hottest 2018 models, including the Ford F-Series, America's #1 selling truck for 40 years. With financing options that fit every budget and a sales team dedicated to you, Vision Ford Lincoln Hyundai continues the Yes We Can tradition. All we need is you. Visit us today at 1500 South White Sands Boulevard or 24/7 online at visionfordlincoln.com.
Take one of the most well-known animated features of all time, put it on stage, add lots of high-energy music, and what do you get? You get Shrek, the musical. Alamogordo Music Theater's summer show. It's everyone's favorite cranky but lovable ogre Shrek, along with Donkey, Princess Fiona, Lord Farquaad, and many other fairy tale characters from a land far, far away. Production dates are August 10th and 11th at 7 p.m. And all shows are taking place at the Enchanted Kingdom known as the Flickinger Center for Performing Arts on New York Avenue. Tickets are $12 and available at Books Revisited in the White Sands Mall, from the Flickinger Center box office, or from any cast member. When you've got the kind of mess that calls for a real hero, fortunately, there's one on hand, and his name is Shrek. Don't miss Shrek the Musical from Alamogordo Music Theater, celebrating 60 wonderful years of timeless stage memories.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Hey, hon, do me a favor and hold the ladder for me.
I have a better idea. Let's just call somebody to clean the gutters.
To scoop out a few leaves? Come on, I'll be down in a heartbeat.
No!
Using a ladder might seem easy. Misusing one is even easier. For tips on ladder safety, visit orthoinfo.org, a public service message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, who want to keep your bones safe, strong, and well connected.
ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. Welcome back into the show. 437-1230 if you'd like to join in. Again, if you missed Tiger basketball at the beginning of the hour, I'll have the full live stream of today's show up on our Facebook page, so you can go and listen to the start of the program and listen to what you missed, or any other bit of the show. Again, nobody's caught up with Ricky Fowler at the PGA Championship. Dustin Johnson has worked his way to 3 under. He's on the 11th, or on his 11th hole. Brandon Stone also still on the course, 3 under. Not a name I'm familiar with. Kyle Stanley also at 3 under. So maybe a couple of guys could get a little bit closer to Ricky there, but doesn't seem like there's a lot of really low scores out at this golf course, at least on this Thursday, which is surprising. Usually you would think Thursday would be the best day to go out there and post a low score, but so far it doesn't seem to be the case. I found this interesting. Kansas State re-signing Gary Snyder to a 5-year extension. That'll take him through 2022 when he'll be 83 years old. And we've seen a few coaches definitely go up into that range, but going to make $3.45 million this year and will receive $300,000 increases the next couple of years. And I guess the deal for later on will be negotiated later. K-State won 5 of its final 6 games last season, went 8-5, and last month they were picked to finish 6th in the preseason Big 12 polls. So steady. I mean, that would be the way to describe Bill Snyder. I want to say they had 1 year back in the day where they had at least a shot at competing for a national title with Snyder as their coach. But he went from 89 to 05 as their coach, and then 09 to present, and 210 wins. That's a nice number. I mean, it's not gaudy. Certainly there's some of the coaches that you look at his age that are still in the game, but I feel like he kind of got started a little late being a head coach. I mean, he didn't become a head coach of a college program until '89, which was, 30 years ago? So he was, in his 40s. He was almost 50 at that point. And he had worked at high schools and was an offensive coordinator at Iowa for a long time. But I feel like you look at him and just one of the class kind of guys that has it certainly feels like, I can't say for sure, but it certainly feels like a guy that has done things the right way over the years. So, yeah, I'm trying to think. That 11-1 season in '99. I mean, they were a game away from winning the Big 12. Won the Big 12 in '98. No, I guess not. A conference title in 2012, actually. And they also won the conference title in '03. So, crazy that he's going to be coaching until 83 years old. I can't. I can't imagine wanting to keep doing that for that long. But I think you have to love it, and you just coaches are a different breed, and I think most of them, if they keep doing it as long as somebody would let them, they would continue. I mean, and that's not all of them, but I think a majority of them just love, the part of being out there and teaching, and I would say you see it more with high school and college coaches. Maybe not so much in the NFL. I mean, we've definitely had some coaches that have been up there in age, but certainly not the trend right now. And certainly not ones that have stayed at one job for an exceedingly long time. I mean, we do have a few long-tenured coaches in the NFL, but it's not as it was maybe 15, 20 years ago, going through the 70s and 80s, and some of the guys that were in the same spot forever, your Shulas and Chuck Noll and Landry, and probably a few others you could probably throw into that mix too. So, but I don't know. Yeah, I also think about folks that are in their late 70s and early 80s, and the idea of coaching a college football team and going on recruiting trips and doing everything that goes with being, having to be up super early and staying crazy late and doing things, and it just, you'd think it'd be time to retire, but clearly he has zero. It looked like he was going to do that a few years ago. Turn the program over to somebody else. Kansas State kind of went into a slide again, and he comes back and turns them around again for the second time in his career. I think Bill Snyder is such an interesting coach and an interesting story in college athletics. I'm beyond intrigued by that whole deal. So, there was something else I was going to mention before. I didn't know if it was the Snyder thing or if it was something else that I want. Oh, I remember what it is now. I really wish you would stop reporting on things. Well, this many people signed a petition for this to happen. Bring back a TV show, or it's just a ton of things. And I think it's great that you can mobilize people to, I guess, sign a petition online. I guess I'm supposed to believe that that's a real thing. No worse than going and getting signatures. I mean, I'm sure there's ways to probably fake that as well. But I guess 13,000 people have signed petitions for LeBron James to become Secretary of Education. And it's like, why is this a story? He is an NBA player. Hey, if that's something that he aspires to do at some point, to work in government, power to the guy. I think in terms of civics and things that he's done within communities, he has done a lot of great things throughout his career. I don't think his story is lauded enough for a guy that, grew up in a single-parent household, has been, married and with kids to the same woman for his, essentially his entire adult life, and has been, paying it forward. So, I mean, I think when you think of the typical family of, husband, wife, kids, and and being able to make a good living for yourself and being able to give back. I mean, he's done, in terms of the storybook, about as good as you probably can do. He's never been in trouble. I don't understand the criticism that he's been facing from some places in the last week or so for a guy that he's just done things the right way. Maybe he has opinions that you don't like, but it's one that I'm having a hard time understanding personally. Just my opinion, but I feel like he's a guy that should really be looked up to for the kind of things that he's done. So, anyway, I guess people are signing a petition for it. You guys have a great rest of your day. Talk to you tomorrow. Hey, this is Charles. You're listening to ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. Southern New Mexico's sports leader, KNMZ Alamogordo.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Patriots